noches pensando de lo triste que viví y comprendí que tu amor no era para mí. Ahora que estás y sin saber, yo no esperaba ni deseaba jamás verte otra vez. Y ahora aquí vienes a mi casa y te sientes como un rey, pues me perdonas, vida mía, yo ya no te quiero ver. Hoy te me vas de aquí. No necesito tu presencia ni quiero saber de ti, que no eras tú quien me engañaba con mentiras y tu amor, tú que creías que iba a aguantarte. Ahora vete por favor, no mi amor, ya no es así. No necesito tu presencia, vida, yo ya le viví. Tengo todo este querer y mi vida que vivir, ya le viví, ya le viví.
A tu lado me tiene que respetar. Dile que no sea malcriada, porque le puede pesar que las niñas educadas no deben de resonar.
De pronto te extrañé y me enloquecí. Pensé que yo sin tu cariño no podría vivir. Luego pasé noches pensando de lo triste que viví y comprendí que tu amor no era para mí. Ahora que estás y sin saber, yo no esperaba ni deseaba jamás verte otra vez. Y ahora aquí vienes a mi casa y te sientes como un rey, pues me perdonas, vida mía, yo ya no te quiero ver. Hoy te me vas de aquí. No necesito tu presencia ni quiero saber de ti, que no eras tú quien me engañaba con mentiras y tu amor, tú que creías que iba a aguantarte. Ahora vete por favor, no mi amor, ya no es así. No necesito tu presencia, vida, yo ya le viví. Tengo todo este querer y mi vida que vivir, ya le viví, ya le viví.
A tu lado me tiene que respetar. no sea malcriada, porque le puede pesar que las niñas educadas no deben de rezondar. New York is a long way from Texas. Vegas is a long way from Abilene. I spend lots of my time flying out to LA. And if you've never been there, you don't know how long some big towns can be. Oh, what I'd give to be a country girl again, to be with my people, my man. The first time that our eyes met was when you walked through that door. I should have known you'd be the one I'd love forevermore. And when you started toward me, I thought I'd surely die, 'cause I'd never seen a man before who could make me feel this right. And now it hurts to love you, knowing you'll never again be mine, 'cause she's the one who's got you now because of my foolish pride.
Can you hear me?
Yes, happy Father's Day episode, or happy Father's Day, everyone out there. And thank you guys for joining us for our special Father's Day episode. We have a great show today. Hi, Gigi.
Hi, Lori Jean. I wanted to send a special shout out to Tejano Legend Pioneers, Chapter 2 RGV. I want to wish them all a happy Father's Day. And as they well know, they kind of took me in when our dad passed away. We've been showing up and growing with the group as the organization grows. And it all started with our dad. And even though he's been gone since March 12th, 2022, I still feel him very present because they keep him alive. His memories. There's not a time that goes by that we hear, oh well, Juan Guerrero. I remember when Juan Guerrero did this, and when he played over there, or he was so funny and he did this, and that keeps my dad alive in every sense of the word. Fotos y recuerdos is all we have. Plus, but he was a musician, so we have his music, and it is such a special honor for me to have these ladies who know what it's like to have such a giant in the music business be gone. Yes, and so it's it's a weird feeling because you hear their music all the time, and they come back every time. Like you hear their song, you hear their voice, and it's a very special for us to be in that situation. So thank you, Lori, for getting this meeting together and this interview, ladies. Well, I'll hand it over to you, Lori Jean.
I would love to, I'm honored to introduce you ladies. I met you guys years ago when I was working with my dad and my family at Don Chilo's Bar and Grill. And, at the time I was going to school and working full time, had a crazy schedule. And you guys were the highlight of my week, listening to y'all sing and watching you guys perform and seeing all the joy that people had dancing to your music. It's truly a Rio Grande Valley treasure that you guys are, because anyone that knows, the name Country Roland Band or Country Roland, and then you ladies that were there from the beginning as founding members, they know what a treasure you are, and you're so loved and appreciated. And I'm super excited to hear you guys and your stories, because you're very quiet. You're not just like our other legends that we've had. You're our first female guest.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yes, very exciting.
And
We are
daughter.
super excited. We're super excited
Yes, we
ourselves. Oh yes, we are. When Annette told us, I'm like, wow, that's like something that we didn't expect, and we thank you so very much, and especially for having us here today on such a special day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Exactly.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us. We really are so happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. And yes, exactly. What better day than Father's Day? We all have that in common. Like Gigi mentioned about hearing, your dad's music, and you guys have quite a unique, special story. So many, I'm sure, and I'm excited. I've gotten to hear a little bit of how you started playing music because, like Gigi and I mentioned, and Gigi talks about it. Gigi also performed. Well, Gigi toured with her dad, and performed with her dad, and you ladies started, from the beginning.
We started. Judy started when she was a lot younger than me. She started first, and and Dad had already been in the music industry with, with musicians, and you know how that goes. Sometimes they can't show up, whatever. And, they call it the last minute, and you're trying to get somebody to replace them. And so Mom had this fabulous idea. Hey, let's get the kids in there. So Judy's the one that started. Tell me your story.
Well, actually, I was just 12 years old, and that's when they decided to get me to play the bass, and I didn't really have a choice.
No.
No.
Well, no, because with our mom,
with Mom, she was the boss.
she was adamant. This is what we're gonna do.
Anyway, I'm grateful that she did that, because I've had such an amazing life. I don't want to get emotional here, but it's been great.
Tell them how it happened.
Well, okay. Actually, they decided that they wanted for me to play the bass. So Dad and Mom went and got me a bass guitar. They got me the rig and everything, and they brought it home, and they told me that I was going to play.
and Dad said, "Here, you go into this room." It was like a bedroom.
Yeah. And he sent me in there. He says, "Don't come out until you learn how to play
and
it."
he gave her a Conway Twitty album LP, and to listen.
Oh wow!
Well, it was an amazing song, and I had heard it before, and I loved it, and he said, "I want you to learn how to play the bass like this." So I said, "Okay." So
and don't come out until you know how to play.
Oh my God!
For a couple of
Was
weeks,
he a perfectionist? Was he because my dad was a perfectionist when it came to the music? Was he a perfectionist?
He knew what he liked, and he expected it.
Yeah, and he expected for me to play the way he wanted it, and that's how I learned. And it was really very simple. It was a simple beat. I mean, it was easy. Easy and hard because I had my dad, there, and he would come and practice with me. First of all, my brother showed me the notes and where everything was, and then he just gave me the bass and he says, "Here, now you do it." So I had to learn, but really by myself. And so I actually, my dad would come in the evenings after work, and he would we'd go over, practice his music and stuff. And I guess it took I'm going to say maybe a month or so, maybe
yeah.
And he felt that I was ready, but I didn't know
Oh
it.
my God!
He told me, "Okay, you're ready," so I was like, "Okay," real cool. And then and I would always go with him to his bookings, and he would get me up there to sing a song, or I would play the tambourine or whatever, right? Well, this time he told me, "Come on, let's go." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." I was all excited.
She thought she was going to go dance.
Yes.
It was at a festival in Sunny.
It was a bull riding thing, rodeo. And so he said, "Hey, come on, let's go." I said, "Okay." I got all dressed and everything, ready to go. And so we're over there, and then it's time to go on. And he says, "Okay, well, come on, you're going to play the bass." And I was like, "What?" Yeah, I was totally shocked because
they were dragging her the whole way.
Yeah. And,
Oh my
it was really It was amazing.
The
Yeah, I
rest
was
is history.
nervous and
Yeah.
I
scared.
love that story. Literally dragged out.
Really? Come on. You know how you get it by the I mean, come on, we gotta go. Judy was putting her brakes on.
And my heels were in the ground.
Oh my
No, I got up there and I played, and it was awesome. And that was, oh God, I was 12. I was 12. What I was like,
I'm not good at
50
math.
years
Don't
ago.
ask me.
Right? And it was amazing for me, and I became the bass player.
Yeah.
At
What
12
a
years old.
beautiful memory. What a beautiful
I
memory.
have, there's so many, I mean, of that, and us up there with him, and it was incredible. It really was.
I had it easy. I just was.
Yeah.
They were practicing, and I don't know what I was doing around the house, and Dad would be singing, and I would be harmonizing with him, and then he said, "Come here," It's like, and well, by that time you were playing the bass,
Yeah.
Wendy was playing the keyboards, and
Right.
our brother was playing the lead, and we had a drummer and everything. So he said, "I just want you to stand up there, play the tambourine, and harmonize." I said, "Okay, I can do that."
Yeah,
So, but I had it
easy.
Actually, you know what? You make it sound easy, but I tried to do the tambourine and sing at the same time. It's like I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. I couldn't do it.
Well,
So it's not that easy. Yeah, it came
Yeah,
natural to you. It's not that easy.
Well, we usually don't show pictures until towards the end, but just to give everyone a little bit of a picture, I'm gonna show a picture because let me show just kind of, let me see who your dad was, and if you're from the Valley and if you've never heard of Country Roland, I don't know where you've been.
You've been under a rock because there's
If
no
you're
way.
first from Texas, from here, and then the Valley, back even before
we get
the
a lot of, we're blessed because since day one, with this social media, when all of that started, we get emails and we get Facebook notices from all over the world.
Right.
So, and that's music. Our music was out there, with people that lived here and went, and we heard a lot of like the young men that were in the service, that they would take our CDs or whatever, and play them for everybody over there. And so we, it was like constant. And we've been really, really blessed. And even before social media, it was out there, like basically all over the world, because we have heard from almost every, a lot of different areas. So
definitely, and this is one of the earlier pictures of your daddy, right there. So
without a mustache,
so handsome, my dad.
He must have been in his early 20s, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So thoughtful. The thinker right there.
So he precedes the whole urban cow. People say, "Oh, with the urban cowboy, the country and western became so popular." Country Roland precedes that, and there's a couple of. There's another picture of you guys on stage with him right there.
Oh yeah, that was what, like in the 70s.
Oh, God, so.
Probably in the mid 70s.
Yeah,
that looks like Palmer Pavilion, I think. Wow, that's bringing back memories.
That was.
We have some great pics. I'm gonna show one more, and then I'm gonna save the rest for later. We've had
Fanfarria Falcón. Man, do y'all have any of those videos of Fanfarria Falcón?
No. We've tried to get some, but it's a long uphill climb, and I know there's a lot of them, especially the ones that come out on Sunday. But the one regret we have is social media was not in play at that time, so or we would have from back then. But,
so social media kind of a good thing because our bad stuff doesn't come out on social media, but then the good stuff doesn't come out either.
Well, it's easy to get something out there regardless of what it is. So, but social media helps a lot with with everything. I think it's been a plus so far.
Yeah, I love that whole Mr. Falcon present a kicker country western special. That is so cool. That's the first flyer we've seen that of the Falcon like that with a guest, that they've had.
For Fanfarria Falcón, that is true.
A real flyer.
Yes.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
I think they also had like a magazine, like a little pamphlet leaflet that they would put out, and I
Oh,
think
like a
that's
little
where that
bulletin.
became, yeah,
Wow.
kind of like handed out or whatever. But yeah, yeah, we were on there several
Oh
times.
yeah.
We liked them.
Wow, how cool. And do you have copies of those?
No, we never.
Mhm.
It's weird. Like you do something right, and you don't think, oh, I need to do. Then it's the brain. He's the one that's always like, where did he
Yeah.
go? He disappeared on
I
this.
Oh, yeah, he's
He's
there.
the one that's always posting
He's
and doing
backstage.
everything. Too
yes,
funny.
your media consultant.
Yes. Well, he's the one that actually takes care of the Facebook page and,
Yeah.
and
He does
download.
Yes.
all of
You don't want me close to a downloading area because I don't know what to do. That as long as I can, open it and that's it. That's all I do. But he takes care of all of that. But
Yeah.
it's incredible. Yeah, the things
We
that
talked.
we have.
I'm sorry. I'm a
Go
little
ahead.
bit of
Go
lag
ahead.
there. We talked a little bit yesterday when we did our practice run how it was your dad who really created the Tejano country, the
That
Tejano country music, and it got so wildly popular that everybody was cutting a country album.
oh,
Everybody was doing it, and I remember when my dad was recording for Hacienda Records at that time, and Rick Garcia was like, "Well, what's really hot right now is Tejano country. You need to at least put one country song on there." And it was your dad trailblazing all that. That
well,
and
that opened the doors, yeah, for
Yeah.
a lot of bands, a lot of groups from here. Which there were a lot already when we started. We started that we loved the original country,
Right.
the country music with Merle Haggard and George Jones, and that when he was a little boy, they lived in Michigan, and they, at that point, your only entertainment was the radio, right? So they would listen to the Grand Ole Opry every night, and Dad fell in love with the music. So and that music, and then of course, with the family being, liking the Spanish music as well, that he had both worlds, in other words. So that basically started with the traditional country that he loved, but he would throw in a Spanish song, and this was
Yeah.
ongoing, like when he started, and then a little bit after that. But he loved the traditional country, and then his country. So for him, the thing about Dad that amazed us,
Yes.
like he could take something and he literally, and we're not, he literally
Yeah.
almost composed a song on stage, when he forgot the lyrics.
And it was just
And you were
you
listening, I'm
would
like,
have
what
never
is he?
thought,
And yeah,
when
and
he
he
had an
was like,
Elvis moment.
but you never would even know
no,
it because he was just so smooth,
yeah,
and he just kept going, and we just went with him. So
yeah,
it was
and so
awesome.
that's when that started. That originated the Tejano country music. He was
Yeah.
the innovator of the Tejano country music, and so
Definitely.
yeah, and so
Yes.
we started that onda, and
Yeah.
it took off like wildfire. Like
Yeah, I
it
did.
spread like out of
Yeah.
control almost overnight. That people, and from the area, we would be at
Yes.
the and of course leading up to, we started because we live here in Mission. Um, we started at the CWB. I don't know if any the Catholic War veterans that was on
Yes.
Mayberry and
The one on
and
Mayberry across from Castro Elementary?
más o menos, yes, in that area.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was like our base forever,
Yeah.
when and it was jam packed all the time. People from all over the area, the Mission, McAllen, Edinburgh, all of the valley. So and then when the Villarreal came along, pues we went into that. Of course, that was a good location for everybody. But Dad, the thing about Dad, I think, is that he everybody was his friend.
Oh yeah.
He would look out at the audience, and the thing about, right, I mean, he would be singing a song and throwing out a shout out to
Yeah. True.
people by
His
name,
friends.
and then this and this, and people just gravitated to him, and we were fortunate to be there with him at that
Right.
point. So
Mhm.
but yeah, he opened the doors good, which is a good thing, because why not? If something works, do it.
Yes.
And he opened the doors for so many bands, and still that are still out there, and still going. So a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. And we're so blessed that this past year in October, the Texas CMA's Country Music Association, they called us, and we went to perform at their award ceremony in October, and they presented us with a plaque for that for Hispanic, the Hispanic Heritage Lifetime Achievement Award.
Right.
So we have that. Where is it, Renee? Where did he put it? Anyway, we'll get it. Oh, he probably sent you a picture of it. So
He had a
performed.
lifetime. You said a lifetime achievement award with the Texas CMAs. You could.
CMA, we received
Wow.
we got to perform
Impressive.
several of our songs there for their because they have a real big ceremony at this landmark there in Houston. I think it's called the Dozy Do, and there was it was super nice, and it was like it really
That's
at that point like thank you for acknowledging that because we sometimes that gets in the in the background and it's but yeah no dad yeah he had that star and we were so fortunate to be there with him.
Wow. And what a
Yeah.
beautiful legacy. And you're right. If we don't talk about it and share it,
Yes.
it could be forgotten. And now that there's so many people like Gigi mentioned, or you're, after your dad started doing the country, I think my dad did If You've Got the Money, Honey in English and Spanish, because
Yeah.
if you listen to the music, the Tejano music in those years when your dad was blowing up, like Gigi said, everybody did something with it, and you can hear the influence and
Yes.
in their music. You can hear it, the steel guitars and the fiddles and the little country twang, or you're going to hear that. Whereas it wasn't there before with many Tejano people that we've listened to in the 70s. And you're going to hear it, that it becomes, they absorb it. And it's got to be, they're hanging out with your dad. They admire your dad. I know people could say, oh, well, country music was always around. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about country music in general.
No.
We're talking about what your dad did in mixing, old Mexican songs and putting them in a country style and then changing the words and translating them. People are blowing up doing that now. And people love it now. And it's like, they're not.
It was always here. It never went anywhere. Yeah.
And that was the Tejano country, as we've talked about in previous episodes when we talked to Armando Chori Hinojosa and all these Valde Muñoz, all these people that were creating Tejano. It really was Tejano is so unique because we're being influenced by Mexico, and its culture and its music, and we're being influenced by United States, and in your dad's case, country music, and they talk about the migrant tours. All right, so a lot of those migrants, all they heard out there was country music, so they became big country fans. So here comes your dad and says, well, let me just mix this up together and make something brand new, and it blows up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I guess like you're saying, it was dad, our style, we always had the steel guitar and the fiddle, and then the keyboards, and so it was always that was country music at that point. So it was country music in Spanish. And that was what was like so mind-boggling for a lot of people. Wow, what are you doing? The country music in Spanish. Because let's say, any song, Hace un año, for instance, and No Volveré. I mean, it's just beautiful Spanish songs, but you're doing them with with the country beat, and you've got your steel guitar in there, you've got your fiddle, and we still do that. That's what we're doing right now. So
Los Laureles, and then you did also you did Adelita. He's done Adelita.
So many, our catalog of music that is both country in English, but then Dad it was an English song, let's say Swinging Doors, and he would put in a Spanish verse, right? So and it was so easy. Dad, I mean, he was excellent in English, excellent in Spanish. So it was easy. Yeah. Well, it just came natural to him to just, like I said, most of the time we were just practicing or whatever, and he would do the Spanish verse just, at that time. And nothing that he had written down, and nothing, it just came to him.
He was
just like, we speak in English and Spanish, and some words just make more sense in Spanish. And and it came naturally to him, even in the music, and that's incredible. Going back to something real quick, Rene said that, going back to the Villarreal, or La Villarreal, that your dad played for the grand opening of it
Oh,
on,
wow.
on December 31st, 1977.
Yes, yes.
Yes, we did. We played for the grand
Wow.
opening, and oh my God, it was, the Villarreal. Everybody loved the Villarreal,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and it took, like on the weekends. Some weekends we were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to a
Yeah.
full packed
Wow.
house. That tells you how everybody, people loved that music, and they loved what was going on, and then the ambience also, I think, had a
Right.
lot to do with it.
I think
We
so.
were all family.
Yeah.
As we were getting older and getting married and having kids, all of our kids were there, and
Right.
mom and aunts and uncles and cousins and whatever, and that was
Yeah, we took up a whole side of that.
But almost. But you would see that in the audience too, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
had
They
like
would
the
take their
family with
families, their kids, everybody.
the grandparents.
Yeah,
It
it
was like a
yeah.
family.
It was a family affair.
Wow.
Right. And then you had all of like the back of the Villarreal. You
Oh,
had all the
and all the
single
kids,
standing
all
back
the
there.
kids our age at that time.
Yeah.
They were all in the back, with their
the
dates or
very
whatever,
end, yeah.
dancing, and
But that,
Wow. Yeah, and so the Country Roland Band holds the record for the consecutive sold out performances at the Villarreal, at La Villarreal, never broken by any artist.
true.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that, Lori Jean. Wow.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Nano Ramirez, I mean, he says that, we've heard him, in interviews or whatever. Yeah, that's whenever they question or interview him, he'll say,
he'll
that,
say
yeah, 3 nights in a row. And that was when, at that time, there were like other venues, right? Like there was a lot of nightclubs, large, big, not anyway, larger venues, and they were all, there was enough for a lot, to go around. So, but it was, yeah.
We have
Ladies, I'm going to take a little pause. And first of all, hello to Norma Salazar from Holland, Michigan.
yes,
And
thank
I
you
need
for joining us.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for everybody who's joining us either on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Tejano TV. We do have a sponsor, as we mentioned. I mentioned to you guys yesterday. Let me check this real quick. They have a special for Father's Day with our sponsor, Stars in Mission. Let me run their promo real quick because that way they can pay for this. Here we go. Let me see. It goes on.
Uh-oh.
It wants to go on. All
We're
right.
making us hungry.
Those of you that are on mission, go over for Father's Day. They have a special buy one get one free small shake when you say Happy Father's Day. So thank you to Stars for sponsoring our show, and thank you, ladies, for
Judy and
being.
Judy and I just had dinner there the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's delicious. I love their onion rings.
Yes.
Oh my God, everything's good. Everything we've had.
Yes, it is. It's delicious. And
Everything-
what I love the most is I don't have to dress up or even put pants on.
That's what happened that night. I told Judy we need to go to Stars because I don't feel like putting on anything.
And just eat in your car.
So, of all the songs that your dad sang, I'm sure that you have one that's a favorite that he sang, like your personal favorites, but there's probably also you have to have a song that you loved to sing yourself. So, or yourselves.
Well, we, we've had questions before, and to me, it's very difficult to say I have a favorite song because my list of favorites and our list of favorites is like super long. My the songs that I really gravitated towards are if I like I like the tune and then the harmony that goes with it, because that
Oh,
helps a lot. And but you know what? If I have to say that I have like one of two or three of my top favorites, I Amigo. I love that song and I love it because it like tears you up. The feeling behind it. Ay amigo, ¿qué crees que pasó? I'm sure you remember the song
Yeah.
and the
yeah.
harmony. I love that harmony. And then No Volveré. I love,
Yeah.
and I like they're a little bit. Yeah, I like the meaning. Not that I like the meaning, but like it really gravitates to you. Échame a mí la culpa. Like that's only three. I know you must have
Um,
a bunch.
one of my favorites is Me Persigue Tu Sombra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that
Oh,
song.
wow.
Yeah.
Strong title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like
and he
they
would
break
do
your
those.
heart, these
Yeah,
songs.
and just I don't know, Me Persigue Tu Sombra, Ella,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like,
La Traicionera. I mean, there's just so many. I like, and was yo playing the bass. It was like, oh, I just loved everything. I loved them all. They were, and the different
yeah,
beats,
it's
and
real
I
hard
don't
to
know. I just
choose.
got into it. And I don't know. I mean,
It was
there's so
very difficult to
many.
choose like your
Yeah, there's so
favorites, but
many.
those come to
And
mind.
then his voice, and then like he would do. Sometimes I always asked him, Dad, please do the song for me. And he'd say, which one? Big Fool of the Year
Oh
by
yeah.
George Jones. I mean,
Oh,
I
wow.
think just certain songs that he would do, like he did both Spanish and English,
Yeah.
and some of them were bilingual, but there was just some that it just really, I
Yeah.
just loved for him to sing certain songs
Yeah.
because his voice, was just so awesome.
And we love the songs.
Yeah, the
But
songs,
there
it
was a
was
lot.
just it was just amazing.
English and Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah. English and
Yes,
Spanish.
especially when you take some of the songs that are traditional Mexican songs and just in themselves are already so powerful with the words and the meaning. There's just seems to be more depth in the Mexican traditional songs. But then the way he
Well,
translated them, it didn't lose. He doesn't
Right.
lose the depth of them in the translation, and sometimes people can't do that. But he did it beautifully.
Yeah. Oh
gift
yeah.
for that. Yeah. And
There's
not
so
only
many.
that, he would like start off, let's say, today I started loving you again,
Yeah.
singing that song. And we would do the song, and then do the lead that goes, between, and then he would come back in singing Vivir en el Mundo,
Yeah,
with
he'd go
another
into
song,
another song,
so in
and
Spanish.
but everything
And
just flowed.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
And that was in several songs,
Yeah.
not, so, and we still do that, we do that. Well, that's us, that's what we
Yeah.
do. So, but yeah, there's a few that just tear at your heart, and those are the ones that I gravitate toward, and because of the harmony is beautiful, it's like I love that song.
Yeah, I have Country Rollin', and we'll talk about Kicker Daddy Legacy here in a little while. I have those on my playlist all the time. My favorite bartending for y'all was Linda Mujer. If
That
you
was a lot.
if anybody watching hasn't heard these songs that they're talking about, go on YouTube, go on iTunes, go anywhere the music in your music platform, and go find Country Rollin' Band, or go find Kicker Daddy Legacy, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. Go find those songs. You will be hooked. You will be hooked on them. They're so good. But something that Renee mentioned to me of course, I'd heard y'all sing before, and I love it. I learned so many songs from y'all that I
Yeah, a
love.
lot of people.
Like Pick Me Up on Your Way Down. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that song.
yeah,
Dang,
yeah.
so I
Those are
learned
good
them.
oldies. That's
Those are
good
just
oldies.
good.
Yeah.
But what I did not know, Gori, is that you had a song that you had translated and we played it in the promo, I Will Survive in Spanish. I had never
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
that.
Oh, that is. Oh, I had never heard that, and I was like, oh wow. I mean, can we talk about the new Tejano groups that are coming out and how they're bringing their stuff out, and they're actually making English songs into Spanish or
Right.
Tejano,
Yeah.
but then Lori's like, well, listen to this. I was like, what? I fell down in my seat, man. That was so cool.
Tell us
So
about
Yeah.
that. That was super
Well,
cool.
I remember the day that I recorded that song. I was 8 months pregnant with my daughter Candace, and I think Romeo Sanchez. I don't know if you remember Romeo Sanchez. He, big entertainer as well. He translated the song for me, and they commented, "Oh, the song's ready, come." So there I go, and that's when. And I loved the song already. That song was like, oh my God, everybody was loving that song
Oh
at that
yeah.
time. And so I went and recorded the song, you know, so I loved his arrangement and what he did, as far as writing it. But no, it was a good day. I remember so distinctly. As I'm talking, I'm picturing myself there. What I was wearing, I was wearing a pink maternity dress, and in the studio recording the song, and then it really it did very well. I understand, it did very well all over, and people loved the song, and I understand that even recently somebody heard it. I'm not sure where it was, but yeah, it did super good, and I really enjoyed. We really enjoyed playing that song, and
Right.
we're getting back into that soon. But yeah, it was one of my favorites of my songs. I didn't do very many more than I did. And then Judy, I mean, she's very good at writing music as well, composing. So she has some really good songs that she's done.
I
Beautiful.
think one
But
of your dad's really signature talent was transitioning the English music into Spanish so
sure,
seamlessly, because as we all know, we're not very good in Spanish. We don't get Spanish lessons, as we talked about that before, Lori. Where here in the United States, we get to hear Spanish you know, from the neighborhood and just local dialect, but formal
right.
Spanish we don't have. So anytime somebody was actually translating, it was a talent. It's a talent
Yes.
because a lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
And you have to, because it has to be, dad, like I said, he knew the correct English, correct Spanish. So for him, I guess it was easy to, when he was translating. I mean, it was all the the word the way it was supposed to be, and the tense that it was supposed to be, and all of that. But yeah, no, you and you've got to, because you get a lot of criticism sometimes if you don't
Oh yeah.
if you don't do it right, or
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we're talking about dad's music, because you're talking about the English and the Spanish. He would do, like, let's say, who doesn't know the song Rancho Grande?
Right.
Wherever you that polka, and we would do that song, and then he would put like a little line of an English, like most, like Walking the Floor Over You, several songs like that into it, that would formulate the whole song. And I remember going on to, I don't know, I guess it was YouTube, or online one day, which I don't do very often because I get lost. And that song had the most hits out of all of everything that I was seeing on there. So people really loved that song, and I was
Right.
like, but only that, and like I think I kind of remember when we played it live,
Mhm.
that he was doing, it was Rancho Grande, and then he would start singing that song, and pues everybody followed, and then we would do a little bit more Rancho Grande, whatever, and then another little part of another song, and there's like 4 or 5 different
Right.
old country songs, like one line from that song of the song that he was taking it from in Rancho Grande, and everybody loves it. That's the way they want it. And then he would end it with, "Oh my God!" It was just, it was. He was, what can I say? I think about it sometimes. I'm like, what talent? Not because he's our dad, but what
Yeah.
awesome talent he had.
Absolutely. That's a gift.
definitely.
And absolutely, that's a gift. And before I go
Yeah.
back to something real quick, we're going to say hi to Bobby Castañeda and everyone else that's watching. He says, God bless all of you, daughters of legends. That's so nice. Thank you. And saludos desde California. So,
Hi, California.
thank you. But,
Yes.
going back to a couple of things with you ladies and yourselves are very accomplished and very talented. I know, speaking of your dad, of course, we think so highly of him and his talent. But the song that we mentioned a little while ago, Gori, the I Will Survive, it held 10 positions on terrestrial radio internationally in South America and Mexico. And
Yeah.
then Judy, Now It Hurts to Love You. You wrote it when you were in high school.
Yes.
You released it on the first Country Rollin' Band album, and that was in the
Yes.
promo. And Now It Hurts to Love You.
Yes. Yes. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You
awesome.
were in
She
high
wrote
school.
Yes, I was.
Cool.
Judy-
Well, obviously, the talent trickles in. I will quick
Yeah.
shout out to Keith Leal. He also has a podcast. So, saludos to Keith Leal, Norma Salazar. Hello, Mary Lou Guerrero, my sister. Saludos to everybody and everybody watching. I just noticed, just to let you know, I'm not catching all those, for everybody watching, I'm not catching all the posts and comments to put on here. I'm seeing them on my phone, but they're not coming on to, and just by the way, I'm using a different computer. So in case you don't see your comments, if I don't post them up in the show, I'm not seeing them and able to post them, but I am seeing them over here from Norma Salazar. She says, I love Country Rollin'. Used to see them at the Activity Center in Edinburgh, Texas. So
Yes.
yes.
Wow. Yes, I'm not seeing the comments either. So sorry about that, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you for watching and keep making the comments. Maybe Gigi will catch them there. I don't see them.
Yeah.
But yes, like,
Everybody
okay.
was watching.
So to be writing songs in high school, Judy, and then to be
Yes.
playing bass for your
Mhm.
dad, and then you guys, that's quite an experience.
It
Let
was.
me
Yeah.
show.
I had to kind of when I wrote the song, we were playing. I don't know where we were at, and I just told my brother, I said, because at the time he was in the band with us, I said, just follow me. So I just started singing and I started playing it, and I tell and that was the first time, and they hadn't even heard the song, but they followed me, and he did his lead and everything, so it came out really nice. But it was a good song. Of course, there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, it was for your husband or your ex-husband or whatever." No. I said, "No, it wasn't." It was just me and Wendy. We wrote it. Actually, I wrote the words and she did the music on the piano. She was doing at the piano while I was writing the words. So yeah,
And we still get
Nice.
so many
gosh,
requests for that
yes.
song. People love that song.
It's a
But
beautiful
almost
song.
every gig that we played,
Yeah.
somebody will request it. I'm like,
And Wendy is your
"No."
sister. Wendy's your
Yes.
other sister.
Right. She used to play keyboards, the piano.
Yeah.
The
In the
piano sound in those songs, it's just a signature sound of you guys. Like, it's one of my
That's
favorite.
true. That's
It's
true.
just-
And yeah, Wendy she started learning the piano when she was young.
Right.
But you probably know Floyd Kramer,
Right.
very popular, artist that mainly piano, and she loved him to death, and she did his style a lot, and we
Right.
get that a lot because Rene plays fabulous keyboard whenever he wants to. But, and so does Judy. Judy plays keyboard as well. Actually,
wow.
my My regret is that I never learned how to play anything because all the instruments were already taken. Although I should have anyway. But Judy can play anything, and Renee can play anything you have on stage. He can play it, and Judy can play everything on keyboard, bass, acoustic guitar. You know,
Right.
she can probably play the drums if she gets up there. But, and it's all lyrical. I mean, we never studied. You know,
And it's
you know.
not easy. Like my dad put me on the drums to play the drums for the band, and I was doing real good, man. I was real proud of myself. Then I tried to sing, and I did.
Okay,
Not
Dad.
even the tambourine, the congas, nothing. It's not easy for anybody who thinks it's easy to. No, it's not easy. My sister says female bass players rock. My sister's a bass player too. She started playing electric bass in the jazz band when she was in high school. So when she got out, of course, she got recruited into the band. So
Yeah, here's a great pic. Here's a great
I
pic.
love that thing.
yeah, look at that.
I think we were at the Civic Center in McAllen. Oh my God, those dances at the Civic Center. I mean, we always, it was like a party on stage for us all the time.
Well, all the time, really.
All the time.
Even now.
And then the people, the attendees and all of that, then they added to that whole ambience. And
we were just having a good time.
Yeah, that was playing
on stage. We would all be having
El galón de agua, the very needed galón de agua there.
Oh, yeah.
And are those beer cans in the back?
No, those don't belong to me.
Those, I think those are mine. No, wrong brand. I'm with that.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
you know what would happen? I'm going to tell y'all. Let's tell them what would happen. Like, let's say we're playing at the Villarreal, and people would want to buy us drinks, or buy Dad specifically a drink,
Right.
and they would bring the drinks up to him. And Dad was not a drinker. I mean, he could have one beer and maybe, I don't think I ever saw him drink more than two. Yeah. Give him his Dr. Pepper and or his coffee, and he can drink that all night. But we would have like a line of beers and Cokes and all along the front of the stage where people were bringing us or Dad really, and that was like I said,
we would pick them up and take them to the back of the stage.
I think that's where those came from that are in the background in that picture.
Wow. So this pic again, that was and Renee said it was at the Casey Hall in Rio Grande City, 1982.
Right. Yeah. I'm just noticing the background. Yeah. It was Casey Hall. Mm-hmm. Well, that was one of our favorite locations to play as well.
Yeah. We used to have so much.
We're actually going to be in Rio Grande City next Friday. A week from this coming Friday, we're going to be at their festival.
Yes, by the way, you are still performing. I did not realize
about that. Yeah, we have some really great stuff to share about what you guys are still doing to honor your
dad. Here so he can share with us.
We got another tidbit here. I have a little bird telling me some awesome tidbits here. Oh, well, it's not a little bird. It's Renee. Renee, thank you so much.
Media management. Media management.
He said that back here, this Lone Star beer, that y'all were signed as spokespeople.
Right. Oh,
Lone Star beer in 1980. So that's
wow, how cool.
Right, yeah. We went and then took pictures and played at one of their events in San Antonio during that time. And it was great. Yeah, they were one of our sponsors. Yeah. Wow. Oh wow, that picture.
Tell us about this picture.
I think I was 12. No, I'm just I'm trying to remember. Where were we? My hair.
Nice to see. That's a good picture.
I think maybe we were even at a recording session with that.
It's
that background seems real familiar. That background.
How do you say that? I know I'm going to get you to spit out for this. Fanfarian Falcon. With Carlos Guzman.
Yes, Fanfaria Falcon.
Might be, yes, because that background seems real familiar to me.
Promoting I Will Survive. That was your promotion interview.
yeah, I was promoting that song, and that was, gosh, like probably in the early '80s, or yeah, because I was not pregnant anymore at that time. So yeah, probably in the '80s.
Now talk
So yeah.
about that. I have a comment from Mancio Chapa. He says a
Oh,
true legend. It was an honor knowing him. He was one of the greatest influences in drawing Mexican Americans to country western music. That was Amancio
Mr.
J. Chapa
Chapa.
Jr.
Hi, Mr.
hi, Mr.
Chapa.
Hi. Yes, hi, Mr. Chapa. Nice to hear from you.
Yes,
That
he's
means
awesome. And
And
here's
Daniel
another.
Garcia says hello. So now I played with my dad, and my sister and I played in the band with my dad for over 30 years. Now it was different because he was our dad. We were playing with our dad and my brother with the keyboard and all that. I think it was different. How was the experience for you? I know it was tough out there to just be a female out there, because it's all about the man's world.
well, yeah. Go ahead, say it. Well,
Yes.
go ahead. To me, it was a fabulous experience.
Yeah.
Something that the like you with your family, Lori with your dad. Like
Yes.
we were all family up there, and
Mhm.
wherever we went, it was family, and and to see the people that were following us. Because I'm going to tell you one thing: let's say we would go to, we had a booking in San Antonio. Half of the crowd there was from here, because there was like a convoy, and we would see it following us,
Yeah.
going along with it. Really, I mean, seriously, and that happened so many times. And
How
basically,
cool.
we didn't get to play outside of the valley very often, because we were booked every weekend for
In the band.
years in a row in the valley. And Dad got asked once about going to Nashville, and he said, "This is my Nashville." But it was, it was a very fulfilling experience to see all of that, and to be beside people that you love, and that you live with, and just being able to see what he did, because of this gentleman that said, yeah, he brought country western music to the Hispanics, in the Mexican American people here in the area, and then that's exactly a good way to put it. Although there were still, because here in this area it's like 88% Hispanic. So wherever we were, regardless, or wherever you are, there's a lot of Hispanics there. But this was, because that, it was not only Hispanics, but there was a lot of Anglo people, at our performances as well, because was that he just, you know, people just
He
like,
knew everybody.
yeah, and
And everybody
gravitated.
loved him. And they
Yeah,
loved the
that was the
music.
thing. Yeah,
So,
yeah. So he did that.
Very
And
charismatic.
very
yes.
charismatic,
Yeah.
and very humble, very humble. Like
Yeah.
I said, everybody was his friend, and he would
Right.
sit down and talk to anybody for hours if
Oh, yeah.
they wanted to, and just be, amongst the group. So yeah, he was. It was a.
It was an awesome experience,
Yeah.
just being up there. I just did, for me, I just did my thing. I got up there, and I enjoyed what I did. I loved it. I had a good time. Um, they liked it. I think, like,
And
a
it was
lot of
different,
times,
Judy,
yes,
because she was a female playing a bass
right.
guitar.
And,
She was
and
small,
Yes.
and it was a humongous instrument.
yeah, but it was just a really good experience. I loved it, and I still love it. I mean, I'm gonna say just a little bit older. I don't know. But I'm probably ready
Well,
to, I tell my son sometimes, son, I'd like to just go and listen to, because the music is so awesome, that we do. And it's, I want to get down, I want to dance, and
she still wants to.
dance. Like before I can't move anymore.
Yes. It's so, it's just That's why I'm
I
telling you, at the end of the week, whenever, I'd have a busy week and going to school and working and everything full time, and then listening to those songs totally just gave me a whole second wind at the end of the week. And
I know. Yeah.
it
It's
was
it was
just,
awesome. Yeah.
we
Oh
always had a
yeah.
good
Is
we always had a really good time.
I've talked
Yeah.
to Lori Jean. We've talked about this where it's as performers, at the right when we're done, everybody comes up to you and hugs you, and you're so wonderful and you're great. When I became a teacher, I was expecting that every day, I guess. At the
That
end
didn't
of the
happen.
day, you were just great. No, there's no other job. There's no other job. People just come up to you and hug you and tell you you're awesome. It doesn't happen. So it's a very
Honestly,
unique and how
yeah.
blessed we all have been
Oh,
to
yes,
to
yes.
be in that situation, because
Mhm.
there's no other like it.
No, here's
Oh,
another
no.
great pick.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
yeah. Oh, that's
Aww.
we just had a good time.
And that was also Rio Grande City.
Yeah.
We were in Rome probably at least once a month, or if not more. That was another one of our home bases.
Now that's his classic look. That's like
Yeah.
trademark right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and there's
is-
that is all of us.
And I would always sit on his lap.
Yeah, she was
Oh.
too
I
loud.
wouldn't let them sit on.
She would
I would
cry.
always sit on his lap.
She would cry if anybody
I
else
know.
got there. That's okay. I was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, by his part.
yeah.
those are
My
all-
sister Mary Lou says bass players don't age, so don't worry about it.
So true.
And what is this show right here?
I think that's also. There was from Padre Falcon, and there was another one.
Is that Carlos Guzman?
Yeah, that's Carlos Guzman. Yeah.
That
Uh-huh.
was-
Wow.
I think that might have been. I think that might have been the same time that I was there.
Yeah,
I think we were
Yes.
both there together.
I think so.
Yeah, just individually, not with the whole band. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are such good memories. Yeah. Wow.
That
But
is awesome.
Hi.
Yes, I have friends that live. I grew up in Bay City, and Texas, not Michigan. And I guess that's why you say how everybody loved the music that heard it. We're in Texas; it's country, and the population is, you're gonna have that Tex-Mex mix. I think Chore Hinojosa told us that before Tejano was Tejano, it didn't have a name, that they called it Tex-Mex music.
Or Chicano, yeah.
Or Chicano.
Chicano music, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, it's natural that people would appreciate the country music in Spanish and then vice versa and flip it, back and forth. But you guys,
And not only with with the Tejano people like Hispanics, because we get a lot of people that are not from here, that love both English and Spanish. They'll buy our CDs and everything,
Right.
as
Yeah.
they're going back north.
Yes.
To here. But that's it brings people together, and everybody, and it's country all the way. We do play some polkas, we do
Right.
cumbias, but that's pretty much it. The Tejano, we haven't
Yeah.
gotten to that, but it's country music regardless of what language it's in, and you can even bring a little bit of accordion in there because we've done that,
Yeah.
and people love it, and so it's country music, and that's what we've always loved,
Yeah.
what we listen to. So, but yeah, it's just it's there was always an incredible feeling, and I think you all know because you're in the industry, it's like the music is in your blood.
Oh yeah.
So because we stopped doing it for a little while after Dad passed,
Mhm.
but it's in your blood. You got to get back to it,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Felipe Lerma. I'm sorry.
I retired for about a year, and because I was helping my son that lives in San Joan, I was taking care of my grandson. I loved it, and I was up there. Let me tell you, I would see pictures, I would see videos of them, here playing without me. No,
Like,
I mean,
no.
no, but you know what? I love taking care of my grandkids. I do, but
The music will
the
always
music
be there.
is in my blood.
Yeah.
It's like it's just something. That's who I am. and it's just incredible. So I had to come back. No.
Needless to say,
Yeah, after they put him in school,
After
I
they put
came
him,
back.
okay, mom, you can go home now.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah,
Felipe
no.
Lerma says, in the RGV, puro Tejano music, papa, and Dallas Cowboys. Quote
There you
unquote.
go. Red Cowboys.
I want to
That's
show
absolutely right.
this because you mentioned sitting on your dad's lap. Oh, that's so sweet. Hold on a second. Sorry. My dad's going to say, don't be taking so long showing pictures. Me va a regañar. He tells me I take.
It's okay. We're chilling. We're good.
I forgot to send him a link.
Uh-oh. Oh, you're going to hear.
I forgot to send him a link. Sorry, Dad. Really quick. Here's a great one. Well, I love this. I know I'm going back and forth a little bit, but there's just so many great picks. There's you know how Gigi, you said you can't chew gum and walk.
Yeah, I can't. Tambourine and sing at the same time. Oh, no, that's just too complicated for me. That wire is missing in my brain.
I love that. And then, let me see. I'm sorry, I'm doing the worst job at this ever.
We're okay.
There's another award. I was trying to show the pic where you're sitting on your daddy's lap, which I'll do in just a minute. But what was that? Do you remember that award?
That was probably for Tejano Country Artist of the Year or something like that. That was KIWW Awards, actually.
Oh, wow.
It was my husband. We met in the industry. And yeah, I remember that. Roland band there in the background. Yeah, I think it was, where was that, Judy? That wasn't the Villar. Yeah, maybe it was the Civic Center.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was KIWW Awards. We get a lot of awards. We have a lot of plaques, and awards from all over. So,
talk a little bit about that, because you mentioned KIWW, which, as we all know, it was a big part. It was like the biggest Tejano radio station for a long time. Talk to us about that.
Was KIWW, yeah, they were based in Harlingen, and Raul Hernandez, well, he was a really good friend of my dad's. My husband was a really good friend of my dad's. That's how we met. And he would go, wherever, a lot of performances, just to go and MC or whatever, when there was events, that they would bring KIWW in. And Raul started the English-Spanish format here with KIWW that spread like wildfire everywhere.
Yes.
So that we did. And being from here, we know that the Tejano music, Tejano country, this is the base. And from here, it all started. You're talking about your dad, Grupo Mas, so many groups that started here. And KIWW gave them that push because Raul would play them all. And, and he would promote them and push them and talk to them. And I remember very distinctly, some would come and, cry on his shoulder and know this is happening. Hey, get your butt out there and keep going because you got it and you're going to do it, and they would all come back, and thank you. And, we had all kinds of memorabilia from people that would, bring him, thanking him, for helping them get them out there in the music industry. And that's what Raul did. And now you have that Spanish English format worldwide. But he started it here with KIWW. And that was like in the, when was it? In the 70s. It started in the 70s. Yeah. So my husband, he's no longer with us, but he started that,
Wow.
Well, and that was a giant step. I mean, that was a giant step for everybody. And I would dare to say that, all these founding pioneers like your dad and our dads, were the step up to where worldwide people know Selena. But, if they do their research, they're going to come back to our dads. It's going to come back to our dads because it was started here. I mean,
they're the ones who started everything. Yes. And we're not being, whatever proud. Well, yeah, you're proud, because a lot of people don't know that, like now the younger artists, they don't know, or because I remember Renee was saying something about a young man that lives in another state and trying to get his roots, find his roots, with the Tejano industry, and it all comes back to the valley, and
Yes.
and that's just the way it is, and you can't fight that, but yeah, that's, and then with other things came into play, and other types of music, other ondas, so, but yeah, it all started here. And it's the base,
And
and it
having,
always was.
yeah, and having that radio station, Renee also mentioned that there was Raul Hernandez, a TV show.
Roland presenta.
Mhm.
Yeah, he had, yeah, and then he would bring a lot of the artists on board and let them do whatever their music, and Raul
Right.
always, he
Give
always
them a
pushed,
platform.
he always gave
Mhm.
them the platform, and he always endorsed them and promoted them and pushed them, to get to where they wanted to go with whoever it was, and
Right.
and the guys, nobody in the radio station, because I worked with him. For a while, in different ondas, in different like that KIWW and a couple of others, and he would have visitors every day, like the guys coming to talk to him about the music, and what do you think I should do, and how do you like this, but he did, if he didn't like it, he would tell you, no, don't do that, and don't play, you got to go some, that's the way he was, but they expected that from him, so
Mhm.
he would guide them in the direction, that he thought they needed to go, and there was always somebody there, with him, so talking to him about that, but he loved it, that was his life, and he loved it, so he did very, very well with it.
That's all. Felipe Lerma says, Orale KWW Puro Bayuco. Norma Salazar says, and guys, I'm reading you these out because they're not showing on my computer. I'm
Right.
reading them.
Fine.
Norma Salazar says, I asked sometime for Country Rollin' on the radio station here in Michigan because that old school music, they were the best times in music and taught our kids good music. And
Wow.
Felipe, yes. So, wow. Felipe Lerma also says on Tamando San Roman. And then Norma Salazar says, and the Johnny Canales show as well. Oh, and our respects. And
Yeah,
may
yeah,
he rest in peace, Johnny
Mhm.
Canales. He was, a giant and a big part of our industry. Yes.
yeah,
There he
wonderful
is.
man. Very
Yep.
happy,
Yes.
very get along with it. We like
Our
his wife
condolences to his family. And yeah, but
Yes, and it's
he did a lot of good.
a lot.
yeah.
Yes, he
He
pushed
did a lot
them
of good.
up groups. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, he certainly did. Gosh, wow, so many memories shall bring you back.
Well, this
I
was
was thinking last night. I was thinking last night as I was going to sleep, like, what are we going to talk about? Like, let me
don't
think, and then I
worry.
fell asleep.
Everybody does that.
I fell asleep, so that was that.
And yes,
I like to
you
keep
know,
talking about
following up on that, what you said, Gigi, about Johnny Canales, like we all grew up watching his shows, and even still, recently they still show them. I'm in Corpus, and they still show them every time. But I remember catching this episode with you guys, and I was like, oh my gosh, look who's on the Johnny Canales show. Tell us about that, and we can now, we can talk about. We talked about the your life and your experience with the Country Rollin' Band, but you guys aren't done yet. You're still
No,
you're still
we're
at it,
not.
and we have so much to talk about with that. That people may or may not know, but this is a great time to share it. But how was this experience on the Johnny Canales show?
Oh, we had an awesome time. They're such,
Down to earth, really
down to earth and
nice people.
charismatic,
Right.
and they draw you in, and they're just sitting, talking, and joking with you, and you're having a really good time there. And yeah, with this gentleman, I mean, who didn't want to be on his show? I mean, he
Right.
helped so many people, and his wife as well. I mean, they clicked well together, and they were, did super good. But we had a good time. I think I'm trying to, as I'm talking, I'm trying to remember the year, and I will remember. He remembers everything.
Mhm.
Oh, what year we
Here's
did
a good time. We're going to talk about what you guys are still doing, and just like all our other guests that we have on, they're with pride. They like to, they share how they're carrying on their legacy. Their children carry on their legacy, and with music. And this is a great time to bring in. I was looking for the picture that I had with him on your lap, and I apologize. There's a picture of your son Rene on your lap, and y'all's family,
Oh,
your whole family is so crazy talented. Like So, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
Are you ready, Renee?
so we're gonna bring in Renee.
Where is he?
Very. Oh, he's gonna be over there.
Hi, Sam.
He decided
Hi,
to
how you
stay
doing?
away from,
And we're gonna talk a little bit. Well, I'm gonna share this as well because he was there,
Right.
of course, going in there.
Renee
And
started when he was 14, I think, with control.
I was
Band.
I was 16 when I started. 16 years
Right.
old.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
wow,
That was a great time. We had a really good time. That was that was like 2014. We did that show. We did that show with Sonny Salceda. He was also part of that show. He taped that day. But
Yes.
we got up and it was kind of, I mean, my granddad passed away October 18, 2012. And that was, I mean, even at that point, it was just a few years after his passing. It was a real emotional thing. But we got through it and we were just promoting. My mom sang her that Now It Hurts to Love You. We did, I think, Hace un año. Gori did La Diferencia because we also took that song La Diferencia and we did it country rolling style. So we were just showcasing some stuff that we had out at the time. And we were just chugging along. You know, my granddad wanted us to, shortly before he passed away, we had several talks and he said, son, I want you to keep this going. So that's what we're doing.
He always wanted us
Yeah.
to keep it going. And the good thing is that, you know, like we talked about a little while ago, we had to take a break because there was no way.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a very surreal thing.
yeah,
it's a very
because after
surreal
being
thing.
on
You're
stage
gonna,
for someone over 40 years, like you're saying, Gigi.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
still can't. People have asked me, and the Chicanos band members have asked me, when are we going back into the studio? You know, now as Gigi Guerrero los Chicanos, and
Yeah.
I want to
It's
so
hard.
bad.
I think that's
It's
awesome.
hard.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
mute her mic for a second so I can talk, please?
yeah.
Oh my God, going back. Don't mute my mute. Go ahead and I give you the floor.
I didn't. I mean, you all brought me. I've been in the green room for the whole show, and then when you brought me on, I didn't even say. First of all, thank you for having the girls on and giving them their time. I mean, they're legends too. They were part of a movement that was great. Nobody can ever take that away from them. They were, you know, part of something that was so grand and that's in history books and something that revolutionized in its own way Tejano country music. Back in that day, it was Chicano country music and Tex-Mex, you know. But thank you for having them on. Thank you for having me on. And we catch your streams and your shows, you know, here and there, and y'all are doing a great thing. So thank you for having us on and allowing us your platform first and foremost, you know. But it's a surreal thing. Yeah, it's a surreal thing in the sense that you're carrying on something that your loved one started, you know, and I know both of you all can identify with the girls and I, and getting up there, it took a lot of, for me, it took a lot of kind of having to get a little stone cold at one point, like block it out. Like mentally, I had to detach myself and say, he's not my grandfather, so that the emotions wouldn't be there. You know, I'm just doing something that somebody else did. Because let me tell you, man, for the first couple of years, it was really hard and emotional, and I would just break down right in the middle of a song. You know, Gordy would, my mom would. There were a couple of times where we did a show, one in particular, a private event, and we played along. You know, it was sequenced, and we did La Zenaida, and we played along with my granddad singing, and it was like, man, it was like with that massive sound system and coming through the monitors, it was like he was right there with us, you know. So it was a long time of having to learn how to kind of detach yourself, or kind of like, I'm kind of standing outside of myself, because I'll tell you, the first gig that I did wasn't even with my family. I helped a fellow friend of mine out, and I had agreed to help them out on bass guitar months before my granddad passed away. And my friend called and said, you know what, I know you're going through a lot right now, and I don't expect you to come and do this gig. I'll find somebody else. And I said, no. I sat on it for a little while, and I heard my granddad say, mijito, papacito, you get yourself up and go and do that gig. And I did it. And of course, people see me and they're like, oh, country rolling, country rolling, country rolling. So that's what they want to hear. So my friend says, you want to sing a song? And He's like, it's up to you. And I said, okay. Well, somebody had requested some country roller music, and that first gig that I did, that first song that I sang, I I could feel my granddad right there with me, and it was very electrifying. And I couldn't even hear my voice. I heard my granddad the whole time, and everybody at that gig, they were just like stopped dead in their tracks, staring. And when I finished the song, a lot of people were crying, and it was like, man, it was a very electrifying thing. So I've gotten better at it. I mean, every once in a while we'll still lose it, but it's something that we're doing for the love of my granddad because he wanted me to do that. He was like my best friend. You know, we were very close. He loves all his kids. He loves all his grandkids and his great grandkids. But him and I had a very close bond, and it was because of the music. You know, we were always there. And my brothers were in the band too at one point, but my granddad was my best friend. So it's about doing something. He already did it, right? I'm not reinventing the wheel here. It has changed a little bit because you have to progress, and we have changed the music a little bit,
Evolve.
but you evolve. But it's about doing it for the love of my granddad first and foremost, and then doing it for his fans because there is still a very humongous calling for this music.
Yes.
And it's about everything that we do, we want it to be the best, and we want it to surpass the last thing we did as far as recordings or gigs or what have you, because we want to make the fans happy. We want to please them, you know, first and foremost, because without them, we're really, you know, primeramente Dios, pero without the fans, you're nothing, you know? So
Yeah.
my granddad taught us to always love and respect our fans. And for us, it's just about doing the best thing. And right now, it's about taking this thing. My grandfather is global in the sense that a lot of people around the world listen to him and know him.
Yes.
He did start this trend. There have been other artists that have come in and had opportunities to take it internationally. You know, people like Johnny Rodriguez that we worked very close with for several years. Freddie Fender, they were allowed platforms that allowed them to take something that my granddad started to a national level. But for us right now, it's about teaching the new generations as well. You know, there's a lot of young kids that don't know, and it's part of our heritage as Hispanics, as Mexicans. You know, so it is about keeping that going. So right now, you know, we've had, like Gordy said earlier in the podcast, that we went to the CMAs. From the CMAs, the producers from the Penny Gilly show got us after we got off the stage, and they're like, Penny loves your voice. She wants to book you. So I was allowed to go in February of this year and promote our single Llorar, Llorar, which my granddad recorded, and then Gordy and Judy and I wrote the English version to it. So we went to the Penny Gilly show. We were able to tape that and perform, and it has really opened the door to a lot of bigger things that are coming soon. So,
and I'm going to put something up for just a moment, and then you can kind of elaborate
Okay.
on them just to share what you guys are still doing. But before I do that, I'm going to put this picture up.
Oh my goodness.
Since
That
you
night.
put it up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember
Let
that.
me tell you, I'm going to tell you a quick story, and I don't want to ramble, but
No,
hear
you're
me
not
out here.
rambling, and don't
We
make
were-
it
we were at I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We were at the Vaquero Fest in Hebronville. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that might have been 2008. And so here's the little backstory to that. My grandfather wasn't even supposed to be on that stage that night. He had been having trouble with his voice and his vocal cords, and he had been seeing some specialists. And we thought the worst. Like, we hadn't gotten any confirmation or anything, but we thought something really bad was happening to him with his voice. So the professional doctors and specialists said, you do not sing anymore. So a couple of months before the gig, we had a meeting, and Gordy said, I'm going to call them and I'm going to tell them we're not going to be able to do it. And to our surprise, the Hebronville organization said, no, we want you. We want the family there. Can El Viejon come and make an appearance and do a meet and greet and sell merchandise and be there for the folks? And we're like, sure, he can do that. So we got up on stage. We got there and we checked it out, and it was great. So we go to the hotel room. It was such a massive sound system. We were about half a mile away, and it sounded like they were right outside the hotel, right?
Wow.
So then we're getting dressed, and I'm super nervous, and I've never been nervous in my whole life. Well, we get back to do our slot, and I almost died because there was they said it was a record crowd of 10,000 plus people there that night. So everybody gets on the stage, and I'm standing on the stairs because it's a super high stage. It's about 6 feet up off the ground, and Gori's behind me, and she's like, "Hurry up!" And I was like, "No!" And my hand.
Let me just interject a minute. Let me interject because he never gets nervous. But that night it was like I was a little worried because he was like, I can't, I don't, and like I'm like, you're gonna do it, just do it. If Dad can do it, because Dad had said I'm gonna try whatever, and to get up.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that he had said he was gonna try. I thought that like he hung me out to dry. So the band's already starting. They introduce and Cody's like, go, and I was like, I can't. And I was grabbed onto the rail, and she pushes me. She says, get up there. So I got up there because we would open the show for my granddad. We would do about 15, 20 minutes, and then we'd bring him out. So I do about the 10 minutes, and everybody's into it, right? And we're doing our songs, our big intro, and then so now I have to tell 10,000 plus people that are cheering Country Rollin' El Viejon, Kicker Daddy, that he wasn't going to be able to perform. And I thought, this is it. We're going to lose them. We're going to get the booze. They're going to throw bottles at us. Well, they cheered us on. Yeah, they cheered us on, and they're like, take it, mijo. You're doing a great job. And they cheered. So I remember the song I was singing, Que bonito es el quelite. Bien, I got quien lo formó, right? And we're going, and the crowd starts cheering, woo, like super loud. I was like, wow, they're really liking the song. Well, all of a sudden, I get a tap on my shoulder, and I look over, and it's my granddad. So they give him a mic, and we finish up the song. And then he got on his stool, he sat there, and that's what that picture was like right after that. Like that was the first song he did after El Quelite. And it was just an electrifying night. And, we've played crowds big and small. They've played they've toured in Mexico with people like Juan Gabriel. They've done shows with them. They've gone, the bordering states, New Mexico, places like that. And they've played to crowds big or small. And who knows, I might never play to 10,000 plus people again, but I can say that I played to 10,000 plus people that night, and they supported us and they loved us.
What a beautiful memory.
I think that's what had you a little bit nervous, right? Because we were on stage, and it was a tall stage. It was at least 6, 8, 10 feet.
Yeah, it's about 6.
And we couldn't see, and in front is where all of the crowd was, and we could not see the end of the crowd.
Right.
Yeah. And then when Rene got up there, he got a little, we had been before, like Rene said, we played at different arenas where, there's a lot of people. So we were okay. The only problem was with that, if he was going to be able to do it or not. But then he was like a pollito. I'm just going to use that word because yes,
I still am a pollito.
He had already been with the
Is that your apodo, el pollito?
Un poquito desplumado. No, and people say you're the little Kicker Daddy. I'm like, there's nothing little about me. Yeah, I'm a big boy, but yeah, people call me the little Kicker Daddy. They call me Rini Roland. They started calling me Rini Roland back in the 90s, and it went away for a little while. And the weird thing was, we went to the CMAs, and they introduced me to some news media as Rini Roland, and I stopped dead in my tracks because it like just kind of hit me. I was like, wow, how like that's something that. So they started calling me that, and I've been doing radio interviews and like, we got Rini Roland here on the line or whatever. So it's kind of just stuck. But getting back to what Godi said, they've done it all, and that's the one thing that they will have. And I've been telling them that a lot lately. You will always have that. You were part of the Chicano country movement. Our family was the first family to do this, and everybody else came afterwards. Everybody. I mean, Country Rollin' Band spawned bands like Louis Gomez and Texas Country, Burning Ember, Texas Tumbleweed Band, the Tumbleweed Band, JDC, all of those people. But you know what? These two ladies were the first ladies of Chicano country music, Tejano country music. Our family's the first family, and they were part of something that was so grand. And I was just a baby. They started before I came along, and I came along, and I was running around, dance halls and honky tonks and on the stage. And I didn't even submit that picture. There's a picture of me hugging a monitor on the floor, like I was laying on top of it, because I love the music too. I mean, I love to listen to it, and it's blaring and booming and all that. But anywho, these ladies, you got to give it to them, and I appreciate you all doing that, because my mom's the first female bass player in La Onda. Godi came in, and we were all they're all part of something grand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they'll
legends.
always
Have y'all
have.
been inducted to the Tejano Roots Hall of Fame by any chance?
Yeah, as the country rolling band, we have been. Yeah, well, the
Okay,
country
yeah,
with the
probably
country rolling band. Yeah,
should go separately. All right, let me
yeah.
get to some comments. Mary Lou said that's right. I don't know what you're talking about, Mary Lou. But Norma Salazar says you need to go to Milwaukee Festival in the end of August. And Amancio J. Chapa Jr. says, way back I wrote an article titled Ahua Kickers. It was about Roland and the band. It was published in
Wow.
a national Hispanic magazine.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I unfortunately, I know we do have some magazines, and my grandmother, Mrs. Country Roland Aurora, may she rest in peace, man. We have about 3 photo albums of just, she clipped everything. And even
Oh,
when I was younger, like about 2005, my brothers and my cousin and I started a band, and when my granddad was kind of trying to retire, and I found clippings of us there and some of the stuff, like newspaper articles that we had done too, and I was just like, wow. But thanks to my grandma, we have a lot of that archival stuff, But I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
album.
that would
And
be-
I think for us, I know Mr. Chapa, who's watching, he's worked closely with Texas Folk Life and the historical societies like in Benitas and in the Valley. And it's something that's missing from when we talk about, even with other guests, Gigi, is like archival footage. Like, you said Nano Ramirez on the shows and those things that were running in the Valley, even all those years ago. Those are things that are missing to help us like solidify.
yes, they are.
Yeah, well, as far as, and I know you and I briefly talked about it at Taco Lay a couple of weeks ago when we ran into each other, Lori Jean. We've been in communication with somebody who does have all that archival footage, and I hope that eventually we could do something with that or obtain some of it. I know that I did speak with Tejano Conjunto Music Hall of Fame with Patty over there. And they're in touch with the Arhuli Foundation, which also has some of that stuff. And also whatever they don't have, I think at the University of Kingsville, a bunch of stuff was donated to one of the universities here in Texas. So my thing is trying to get some of that archival footage because I feel like as far as my granddad is concerned in the band, it solidifies a lot of things as well.
Oh, definitely. For
and
many artists.
Yeah,
For
many artists.
Yes.
And I think that we were in the newspaper. I think around Christmas time this past year, which we were shocked. They reached out to us over the CMAs and what was going on, and I went into our local gas station here to buy a couple of them, and I was like, man, I wonder where it's gonna be buried or where it's gonna be hidden, right? Like it's gonna where I'm gonna have to look for it. So I walk into the store and I was like, yeah, I need a couple of the monitors, and they were behind the counter. And the guy picks them up, and he looks at it, and he looks at me, and then he looks at it, and I was like, what is he looking at? We were front page. We were front page, and I was like, oh my God! And when I saw it, I was like, go ahead and give me 20. Go ahead and give me 20 of them. So, and they titled it Roland's Revolution and Country Roland's Kids taking his music globally. And, and that's just what we're trying to do. I've evolved as a person and as a musician, and I do have a bunch of originals, and I have some stuff, some Country Roland style originals, and then some country music because, we weren't all just about the Tejano country, we're diverse. So you're going to see some great things coming up. I think we're going to recut Now It Hurts to Love You, I Will Survive. We do have a tribute album out on all digital platforms, tribute to the legend under Kicker Daddy Legacy.
Yes,
and it's got some of our favorite country Roland songs on there, and it's got El Corrido de Country Roland. Yeah, that's the cover of that one.
If y'all if people watching haven't downloaded this, you're gonna download it. It's gonna become your favorite. Like when I go on vacation and I hit the road, that's the first thing I put on.
That is so awesome.
It just goes,
so awesome.
And it's just so great. And if people haven't downloaded it, go look that up. And this is something you did a few years ago, but I'm gonna
actually.
Like, I don't know, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, real quick. We started recording this in 2016, March 13th, 2016 at Sound of Rain Studios with Charlie Vela. And I produced the whole thing. And we've got my brother Matthew did the drums, he did the lead guitar. I got a buddy of mine, Omar Oyoke, who did all the steel guitar. Jason Ellsworth is on fiddle there, and even Norman Newton came in. Normie used to play steel guitar with my family back in the day, and I had never had the chance of playing with him, but he came in and he did a couple of songs as well. We recorded that in 2016, and it was out, and we really, I didn't know what it takes as a label to put something out like that. So it was just out there, and we were selling it at our gigs because everybody wanted music, so we had hard copies. And then just in 2020, we were able to get it on digital platforms. So now that we started in this past Christmas with a Christmas single, and that kind of boosted us a little bit. And then we put out another single in January, Llorar, Llorar. This one is getting a lot of airplay now too. And we want to thank everybody who has spun it and put it in rotation. I want to give a shout out to our head of radio promotions real quick, Mary Bonrostro. Man, she does such a great job. And she's a vital part of us doing this, and I just want to thank her. But yeah, right now it kind of revived that. So what we're doing is we're taking some of those songs off of that first album and our new singles, and we're going to put a compilation because people right now are asking for vinyls and 8-tracks, and I know that's making a comeback. So we're in the process of doing a compilation album. Yes, and cassettes.
Where are you going to put an 8-track?
Well, I don't know. Well, we're probably not going to do 8-tracks, right? But for sure, we're right now we're in the process of working on putting out a vinyl, and we'll be taking an order shortly. It's coming to fruition real fast. But we're doing a compilation that's going to include a lot of those songs because it's been reintroduced, so it's kind of new again. Yeah. So we're just grateful for that. A lot of big things are coming. Yeah. We just
that sarcastically, where are you going to put an 8-track? But kind of, I'm very curious also. But you're right, vinyl. Even
vinyl right now is real popular.
Yeah, vinyl, yes. I hadn't heard 8-track yet, but it's possible. Why not?
Yeah.
Come on, I just got rid of my 8-track.
I just acquired about 10 8-tracks, country rolling 8-tracks that are still in the wrapper. They're like 40 plus years old.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, what is so awesome is like y'all mentioned earlier, it's this started in the Rio Grande Valley. It starts in Texas, it spreads, it blows up everywhere. Yeah. To this day, I mean, how many bands out there do the English and Spanish and mix it up? And there's some bands that are solely focused on that, with the country. And, it's really awesome that, you took it to a place, like you said, the Penny Gilly show. I have this picture. And now you're taking that to people that would never have heard of this otherwise,
Right.
And what a really cool way to introduce so many more people to this, like people watching now are going to watch from everywhere.
Well, yeah. And you know what? I got to give credit where credit's due. And I'm very blessed. I'm thankful. I am so thankful to Penny Gilly and her production crew and RFD TV because they allowed us to take our Tejano country music to their platform globally. And I posted a snippet of my portion of that episode, which included the song Llorar, Llorar, and I did it more English than Spanish. But I posted that on TikTok, and within 4 hours, we had 20,000 views. So the comments are like, hey, bro, you've got a great voice. Where the hell have you been hiding? Like, where can we get this? We want more. So like I said, that platform allowed several doors to open, and like I said, we've got to give credit where credit's due. And we're very blessed that Rick Garcia also helped open those doors for us, with the CMAs, because everything else came after that, So.
Mm-hmm.
So
saludos to Rick Garcia out there.
Yes.
He was our producer too when he was with Hacienda and now with CHR Records. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
And how crazy Penny Gilly, the daughter of Mickey Gilly.
I don't know. Yeah, she's related to Mickey. I don't remember how. I don't know how they're related, but I know they're related. She's the daughter. No, it's okay. It's okay. She's such a lovely person. She's so graceful. She was so warm and loving, and their production crew was top notch. Like, I submitted the music to them, and they learned it, and then we got up there and they played it and everybody loved it. I walked off the stage and you would have thought I was Elvis, I was like, wow. And, I did speak with production a month back after the TikTok thing went viral. And they were like, we've gotten such a tremendous response over your appearance that we want to have you back to tape next season. So si Diosito quiere, with God's will, they'll have me back, and those doors will be open, so for us to go right in and do some more stuff, man, because that's what it's about.
Wow. And
Con Dios todo se puede, sir.
yes.
So,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
it's
ma'am.
possible.
Amen. So how do y'all feel, Judy and Gordy, being there at the beginning and then walking on to these shows like that and accepting these awards? How does that feel?
It was like the culmination of for me, in a way, because the only thing is I'm just going to say it the way I feel it. I don't think that got the recognition that he deserved for being who he is and who he was and what he did for the music industry worldwide. And so, and we do have, all of those individuals and entities that know, and our friends, all over the world and whatever, and they know what he did. But it was so heartwarming to actually see. Did you send Lori a picture of the award?
I did. It's the one that's shaped like the state of Texas, and I think I might have sent a picture, two of us accepting it or afterwards. But it was a great thing. It was kind of scary there too. We were allowed to do 3 songs, and everything was. 2 of them were bilingual. Of course, Hace un Año was the show. Our little main one, because that song put my granddad and the band on the map back in the early 70s.
That's my dad's favorite, by the way.
It was a fluke. I'm gonna give you all a little bit of history real quick about that. Awesome. I hate to keep going back and forth, but everybody knows I'm always all over the place. Like I can't just.
We're all over the place too. Go for it.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. And I'm gonna get. Like I said, I got to give credit where credit's due. In an interview in 2003, and then I'm gonna backtrack. We recorded 46 songs in 1 week for Hacienda Records, and they were shocked. They had never had an artist do that. And they were interviewing my granddad at the end, and we got that on the side here. That's something a little special that we're going to do something with. But Rick Garcia said, you take a song and you country rollify it, and you open the doors for everybody else afterwards. And you have been often imitated but never duplicated, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm going to go back to like 1974, 1975. Country Rollin' Band was already in full swing, and they were, gaining tremendous popularity. But there was a local artist, and I'm not going to say the name, but he was recording an album, and he was recording a gospel album, and he wanted it to sound like the music to sound like Country Rollin' Band. So what do? You hire the Country Rollin' Band to record. So they were at Freddie Records before it was Freddie Records, and they were recording. And how the story goes is my granddad said that they were all in there, and they were recording, and they were taking a little break. So the guy who was producing this artist came in, and he introduced himself to my granddad, and he asked him, so what do you do? And my granddad says, well, I'm Country Rollin', and this is my family, and we play. He goes, you only back up bands or what? He goes, no, I got my own band. So it's like, well, why don't you show me what you can do? So my granddad looks at everybody, and he says, Hace un año, in E or whatever key, right? So they kick it off, and he starts singing, Hace un año que yo tuve una ilusión, Hace un año. And the producer says, stop right now. And my granddad said that he was like, whoa, he didn't know what was going to happen. And the producer looks at the engineer, and he says, you tell so-and-so to go sit out in the lobby, because I'm going to record this band for the rest of the afternoon.
Wow.
So they recorded Hace un Año, and they recorded Llorar, Llorar. Llorar, Llorar was supposed to be the side A. It was side A, and Hace un Año was the flip side. And they both did very well, but Hace un Año put my granddad and the family on the map. And Felipe Valdez Leal, I'm sorry, called my granddad, and he says, Oyes, when he heard the song, he calls from Mexico, and he says, he escuchado varios sonsonetes de mi canción, pero el sonsonete tuyo fue el mejor, hasta garras. Wow. So he had the blessing of that. But that song, put the family on the map, and it did very well for my granddad and us. And to this day, it's like the #1 requested song, and it's also on the tribute album. The girls and I do it together. So just a little history, getting back to what
Thank you for that.
I love that story, and I'm so sorry I don't have the pictures up of that. but you can find it. Would you like to share? I'm sure we can find it on Facebook. Would you like to share all your social media platforms? That way.
Yeah, everything that we're on right now, I think we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. Just type in Kicker Daddy Legacy and you're gonna find us. That's our handle for everything right now. We are in the process of starting to work on a .com because that's really where it's at for us. You don't have to worry about algorithm suppressing or anything like that.
Right.
So the .com is really where it's at, and we've been thinking about doing that route. But everything that we're under is Kicker Daddy Legacy, and it's spelled. My granddad used to spell it Kikker, so it's with 3 Ks. Kicker Daddy Legacy. Our label's Kicker Daddy Records. Our umbrella business is
that
House
it?
of Kicker.
Kicker Daddy Legacy spelled like that?
That's how you spell it. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So
Yeah.
everybody out there looking for Kicker Daddy Legacy stuff and the magical legend Country Roland. This is his family, his daughters, his grandson. This is where you find everything. Just Googlealo. Kicker Daddy
Googlealo.
Legacy. Googlealo. It's gonna come out.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you don't get more
Yeah.
text, more, Valley, Tejano, Chicano,
Yeah.
country than this. Like this
Yeah.
is original.
I'm ready for it to go. Like I'm waiting for it to blow up. I keep releasing songs, hoping that next one's gonna be it. And we got some great things coming up. So,
But it
We do
will,
got
and
some
it,
great
all in God's time. All in God's
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
It will.
Yes, ma'am.
So share what's coming up next. That way people know, because I know y'all are going to be in Benitas on July
Okay.
4th because,
yes.
yeah, I'm going to
Hopefully we'll see you and your dad and all you guys out there. But actually, this on the 22nd, this coming Saturday, we're going to be at Mustang Lounge with the South Texas homies, Rock and Roll James and DJ Josh. They're having like a big summer bash, and they're celebrating one of our good friends' birthday as well, Roxanne Gonzalez. Big shout out to Roxanne. And then we'll be on the 28th. We'll be in Rio Grande City it's a Friday for their Freedom Festival. It's the first time they're having music on a Friday. They've got a big lineup on Saturday. Friday, we're going to be the main band there, and we're going to do some of our music. Everybody was like, get Kicker Daddy, get the grandson, get the daughter. So we'll be there. And then July 4th, we will be in Penitas. We will be sharing the stage with the Navaira family, Raulito, his daughter Destiny, and his son Rigo, and then Cornelio Reina Jr. will be also on the stage and Kicker Daddy Legacy. So that's just a few of the things that we got coming up. But we're working on. I think we'll be in Raymondville soon too at a local venue there called J&E. So big shout out to Raymondville, Vivas Arena.
Well,
that's just what's going on.
congratulations on continuing the legacy of Country Roland. As you all know, if you've watched a few shows, the Giras y Desveladas started when my dad passed away. It's like you feel the need to continue because music is forever and music is magic.
Yes.
And even though we don't have our dad here, his music lives on, and I can play a song. I was playing songs this morning for Father's Day, and I'm just hearing his beautiful voice, and that's how he stays alive. And
Yes.
for you all doing it with Country Roland as well, that's how lucky we are and how blessed we are that they were musicians, and we continue to keep them alive through their music. So congratulations for that. God bless all the work that you're doing and continued success, and even more so. Like I told you off camera yesterday, we're working on something, and I'm not ready to go public yet, but we're working on something that's going to be part of this, getting everything put in its place, and that it doesn't get lost and that it doesn't get forgotten. So thank you guys for coming on the show. Thank you. We've already gone. It's 2:05 already, guys. I know we started a little late, but we're going on the 2 hours. And remember, I told you yesterday we're gonna shoot for 1 hour. We end up doing 2 and go, what happened? So we're going on 2 hours already. So
And before we end it, I just want to
go
insert
ahead.
that, Dad always wanted, he said, and that I know that he said a few times, that he wanted it to keep going, and he had a lot of children, a lot of grandchildren, and that's what's going on right now, because Renee's son, I mean, they're all so musically talented. My grandson is 10 years
Shout
old.
out to my son Brandon.
Yeah, and Georgie, my grandson, he loves Country Roland, and that's, it we know that what Dad's wish was to keep the onda going or keep the legacy going, and that will happen through.
Well, in that interview that I talked about with Hacienda Records, the last thing he said was that the Country Rolling Band is here to stay, and whatever form it's in or whatever name it's in, it is here to stay. That's never going away, and we thank God for that. We thank you all for allowing us your platform.
Thank you so much for having us on here. We really enjoyed our time here, and we love you guys. And we're here, whatever you need.
Just continue doing what you're doing. That's how you're helping all of our Tejano legends and pioneers be remembered. Keep doing what you're doing. Lori Jean, any parting words?
No, I just, again, happy Father's Day. It's to everyone watching. It was fitting that, again, we have our guests are founding members of the Country Rolling Band and legends in their own right, and, daughters. And, we just want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day, to the dads that are no longer with us and the dads that are. We just want to hope you have a great day, and those of you without your daddies, just sending y'all a big hug, because I know it's hard. But it was great to have you ladies, and thank you, Renee, for it was we ran into I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's pretty awesome that it ended up being Daughters and a Father's Day special on Father's Day.
There's no coincidences. I do believe that the Lord guides us to where we're supposed to do and what we're supposed to be doing. No coincidences. So thank you guys, and
go look up Kicker Daddy Legacy, the Country Rolling Band, the old music, the new music, and look out for everything that's coming. And I'm excited about that. So thank you, and Renee,
thank you all. You all are Thank you. You all are pioneers in your own right for doing this. Keeping it going too.
Wow, cool. Thank you. Listen, I'm gonna leave with our sponsor. Anybody in Mission? Here we go. Remember, just
that makes me want to have stars right now.
We'll get some stars. All right. Thank you, everybody. You guys stay on. Yeah. Any parting words before we go? Everybody, we're good? We're good?
Yeah, we're good. Just for everybody to stay blessed and be safe.
Yes, same. Everybody, I want to just thank everybody that was watching, everybody that will be watching afterwards on Tejano TV, because we come on 2 or 3 times a day there, or go click on our YouTube, and you're going to see it there too as well in your own time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting Tejano music. God bless you guys. Have a great Father's Day. For those of us that don't have our daddies anymore, we have him in our hearts always. So, no se muere el que se va, solo se muere el que se olvida. So, with those parting words, you guys stay in for a little bit, and goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.